pretty and you love her, but is she stupid? She forgot my vegetarian.
Scandals, accusations, LeBron, and the NFL? What's all this have to do with a pizza chain? Well, here are 15 untold truths about Papa John's. What's the deal with the peppers in every box?
It's a red Savina. That thing will burn a hole right through you.
Anyone who has ever had a Papa John's pizza has opened up the box only to feast their eyes on a single solitary pepper placed in the far corner of the box. Inevitably, you've likely asked yourself, what's the deal with the pepper? That pepper is called a peperoncino, which is a generic Italian name for a chili pepper, and is placed in each box for a specific reason. Back when owner and founder John Schnatter was a dishwasher in his father's pub back in Jeffersonville, Indiana, they would always place a peperoncino in every pizza box. Noticing how much the customers enjoyed the pepper accompanying their pizza, Schnatter continued the tradition when he opened Papa John's. A few more interesting facts about that little pepper. Papa John's sources their peppers from Turkey and uses up about 25% of the country's peperoncino pepper crops. That's a lot of work for a little taste of nostalgia. The very first Papa John's was a broom closet.
You can't spend your day in a broom closet.
It's no longer a broom closet. It's now a citadel of higher learning.
Most restaurants have humble beginnings. Even the mega franchises didn't start out as the big-name chains they are now. KFC started out as Sanders Court and Cafe, which was a former Shell gas station. And Burger King began life as a small Florida burger joint called Instaburger. However, most fast food franchises can't make the claim of starting out in a broom closet.
This is cozy.
It's a broom cupboard.
Yes, the very first Papa John's location was a broom closet in John Schnatter's father's pub. After knocking out a wall to make a little more room, the future pizza guru began making pizzas within the closet using second-hand equipment. It only took a year of delivering pizzas from the broom closet for Schnatter to make enough money and open a true pizzeria, which became the official first Papa John's. From a small broom closet in his father's pub to an international franchise with over 1,200 locations. Quite the origin story. Papa John's isn't a fan of LeBron.
Protection like a lawyer. Like a non-disclosure agreement.
Who isn't a fan of LeBron James? Aside from the question of who the greatest of all time is, LeBron or Jordan, most basketball fans seem to like the NBA forward. Papa John's, on the other hand, apparently not so much. Back in 2008, during a playoff game against the Washington Wizards, fans could be spotted wearing and waving t-shirts with the number 23, reading "Crybaby." The t-shirt was a tool used to taunt LeBron James, who was playing for Cleveland at the time. Besides the aforementioned writing on the shirt, the garment also happened to sport the Papa John's logo. Suffice it to say, Cleveland fans were not happy with the pizza chain for producing the shirts. In fact, some online fans even said they were boycotting the pizza franchise for producing the garment. This situation managed to not only enrage LeBron fans, but also caused business to drop slightly. The franchise has since apologized to James and blamed the incident on a Washington franchisee for making the shirts. New to Babbletop? Then make our day and hit that subscribe button. Thanks. John paid a lot of money to get his beloved car back.
Anyway, let's get serious. You want to buy this car, what? Yay or nay?
Well, I don't know. We have to think about it.
Before John Schnatter became Papa John, he was just a man with a dream and a car he was apparently very fond of. Schnatter was forced to sell his prized 1971 gold Camaro for $2,800 in 1983 to fund the opening of a pizzeria, the non-broom closet type, that is.
Mater didn't get to say goodbye.
Goodbye! Okay, I'm good.
Years later, after selling his car and becoming Papa John, he made it his mission to find his gold Camaro and buy it back. John did end up finding his car and buying it back for a hefty price. Schnatter ended up paying $250,000 for his beloved Camaro from a man in Kentucky. Surprisingly, the car was only 165 miles away from the Papa John's Kentucky headquarters. Papa John's is vegan-friendly, with a small hack.
And the natural fiber clothing, I assume, means some kind of vegetarian denomination?
We're vegans.
Pizza is beloved by most people on this planet. That's a safe assumption. However, if you happen to be vegan, chances are you'll tend to avoid pizza. Even without slices of pepperoni and other assorted meats, pizza still contains a few vegan no-nos. Luckily, the crust and sauce of Papa John's pizza are 100% vegan. So if you just order one without cheese, and obviously meat, you have yourself a vegan-ready pizza. Vegans can also enjoy the garlic dipping sauce, often accompanying the pizza, as it too is vegan-friendly. So for all you vegans out there wishing to finally sink your teeth into a slice of Papa John's, feel free to indulge to your heart's desire. A certain hip-hop star loves the chain. Or at least she did.
What is it that you really like to do? Eat.
Hip-hop star Iggy Azalea is mostly known for her pop-infused hip-hop music. However, a fact about the Australian performer that may not be known is that she is very fond of Papa John's pizza. Yes, the rapper has a taste for the pizzas served up by the U.S. pizza chain. Unfortunately, the controversy cloud that often hovers over Papa John's wasn't too far away.
Apologize to me and I'm supposed to forgive him and then we go back to being a big happy family?
As one of the chain's delivery drivers apparently shared the hip-hop star's phone number with his family and friends, who then proceeded to call Azalea. This resulted in Azalea taking to Twitter to let the world know what happened, and she demanded an apology from Schnatter himself. Some might say that the incident and ensuing fallout was far from fancy. Papa John's has the honor of being the official pizza of the alt-right.
The pizza guy's car is still running outside.
4 tires, not one of them the same.
Do politics and food mix? To be honest, it seems like a good idea for fast food franchises to keep their political affiliations and opinions to themselves and stay neutral. Not if you happen to be Papa John's, it would seem, as the national pizza chain has been hailed as the official pizza of the alt-right. The distinction comes from comments made by owner and founder John Schnatter that were picked up by an alt-right extremist publication. The publication went on to write a piece stating that Papa John's would be a perfect candidate to become the official pizza chain for the alt-right. It didn't take long for the PR department of Papa John's to release a statement. The release stated that the chain was not only against racism, hate speech, and discrimination, but the chain does not want organizations such as those buying their pizza. Schnatter stepped down as CEO.
This is me expressing myself, okay?
Back in 2017, the founder of Papa John's, John Schnatter, announced that he would be stepping down as CEO of his beloved organization the following year. Schnatter's stepping down came after making controversial comments about the chain's dwindling business being a result of the NFL protests, which had the unforeseen side effect of alt-right organizations proclaiming the pizzeria their collective pizzeria.
Your big mouth was a revelation.
I appreciate that.
While Schnatter never came forward to say that it was the resulting controversy that prompted his resignation, it seems likely that the alt-right honoring the national chain caused the founder to say adios. Despite Schnatter officially stepping down as CEO, he would remain the face of the franchise. The racism allegations.
This gentleman says that I'm not permitted to dine here.
Unfortunately, Papa John's has had its fair share of racism allegations. Let's start out with Papa John himself, John Schnatter, and his use of a racial slur during a conference call. Despite his justification of the use of the word, Schnatter ended up stepping down as the CEO of the company shortly thereafter. The racial controversy doesn't stop there, however, as in 2013, a delivery driver left a racial slur-filled voicemail for a customer after failing to receive a tip. The delivery driver and another employee who could be heard laughing in the background during the voicemail rant were both fired following an apology from Schnatter. In 2016, another incident involving a customer in Denver received a nasty message complete with racial slurs on the receipt for his pizza. And if that wasn't bad enough, down in Louisville, a woman received a similar racial slur message on her receipt a month after the Denver incident. Papa John's was sued by Schnatter.
Your best friend is suing you for $600 million.
Yes, the founder and former CEO of Papa John's sued the very chain he created back in 2018, which was the same year he stepped down as CEO. The lawsuit claimed the franchise denied Schnatter access to company records and that he was kicked out of his office at Papa John's headquarters.
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order. I show you out of order.
The lawsuit also mentioned Forbes, claiming the magazine had falsely accused Schnatter of using racial slurs, though John did admit he had used the slur, albeit in a quoting manner. Forbes released a counter statement to the lawsuit, which basically stated the lawsuit was an attempt to distract from his own controversial actions. Unfortunately, this is far from the only time the pizza chain has been sued. There have been major accusations made toward the chain by employees.
He wasn't thinking about you, he was thinking about himself.
The controversy never seems to end for the national pizza chain, as Papa John's has had several accusations launched their way by former employees. In 2018, many former employees came forward, informing Forbes magazine about incidents that had taken place at various locations of the pizza chain. Several sexual harassment settlements, some dating back to 1999, were brought to light. This incident involved Schnatter allegedly groping and stalking a cell phone representative. Other accusations include executives creating a hostile work environment, which included inappropriate remarks, lewd behavior, and Schnatter encouraging coworkers to bring their mistresses to work. If that wasn't bad enough, the chain has also been accused of unfair wage practices involving their delivery drivers. This resulted in a lawsuit and an out-of-court settlement awarded to the drivers. Unfortunately, the list of scandals, accusations, and lawsuits involving Papa John's is quite lengthy. Papa John's has a stadium named in its honor.
What I don't like about modern life, naming rights on public stadiums.
Papa John's happens to be a big supporter of football, most notably the NFL, but the chain has some interesting ties with the world of college football as well. All the way back in 1998, the University of Louisville named their stadium after the national pizza franchise. With Papa John's signature colors adorning everything within the stadium and the chain's recognizable logo as far as the eye could see, the stadium could have been mistaken for a shrine to the popular pizza chain.
3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives.
The deal came about after Schnatter paid $5 million for the naming rights to the stadium, which would be followed by a further $10 million used for the stadium's expansion. But yeah, as far as the stadium's name, don't get too used to it, John. Colleges cut ties with Papa John's.
Your son is going to college.
Sometimes it's best to keep your opinions, comments, and views to yourself. In the case of Papa John's founder, John Schnatter, this is definitely advice to live by. In 2018, as a result of comments Schnatter made during a conference call, the University of Louisville changed the name of its stadium, which had been named Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, to simply Cardinal Stadium. The comments made by Schnatter forced the University of Louisville to promptly rename the stadium. However, Louisville was far from the only institution of higher learning to sever ties with the pizza chain. Morehouse College, the University of Kentucky, and Oregon State also distanced themselves from Papa John's. Papa John's claimed protesting NFL players are bad for business.
Ruling, he revealed to the country that his only role is to ensure decorum.
Remember that whole thing about John Schnatter saying that kneeling NFL players were bad for business? Well, it's time to shed some light on that particular subject. 2017 was not a stellar year for Papa John's. The national pizza chain experienced a drop in business and a loss of revenue as a result. According to Schnatter, the drop in business was the fault of the NFL and the organization's inability to handle the controversial issue of players taking a knee during the national anthem.
You know what? I had a really rough night, and my boss can back me up on that.
I'm your boss.
At the time, the pizza chain was the official sponsor of the NFL, and Schnatter's opinion was that his company's financial woes were due to the NFL's leadership failings. Schnatter himself is reportedly worth around $800 million, and his business seems to be doing just fine all these years later, so it doesn't seem like the founder of Papa John's will be clipping coupons and searching out the 2-for-1 sales anytime soon. Papa John's as a drug front.
Sorry, it's just you guys don't at all look ready for the drug test today.
Wait, there's a drug test today?
So when it comes to controversial subjects to be associated with, nothing beats drugs, especially the hardcore stuff. Unfortunately, Papa John's has had some controversial moments with narcotics in the past. Back in 2016, it seems there was a secret menu item available at a Papa John's location in the Seattle area. Police received a tip that a few employees at the location were dealing cocaine in the parking lot of a particular Papa John's. Undercover police officers managed to make a buy at the location after ordering their pizza and waiting in the parking lot, at which time they would receive the drugs tucked inside the pizza box. The investigation was called Operation Extra Olives, and the investigation ended with the arrest of 2 Papa John's employees, $28,000, and other drugs seized, and a blemish on the reputation of the franchise. Luckily, the pizza franchise never experienced controversial happenings ever again. Oh, wait. We've got more. Just tap or click on another video. First time here? Then hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.